Hello and welcome to this episode of the Reset Podcast. I'm your host, Lauren Mignot, CEO of the Cultural Communications Agency, D-Flash. Each episode I bring on a different business leader who's doing some game-changing work, and I am super excited to have Joseph Quinones, who is the general manager of Soho Works Dumbo. I'm going to talk about his really awesome career journey, how he has really knocked it out of the park, making Dumbo's Soho Works locations really feel like home. It's my office now. I started coming in here when the pandemic was ridiculous, and I needed to get out of my apartment because I was, not happy being in a very small New York City apartment. And it has been home for me for the last several months, and so I'm a fan. So take a listen. Hey, Joseph.
Hi, Laura. How are you?
Oh, I had a whole long night of sleep. Not like I went out last night or had any shots whatsoever.
No, that didn't happen.
Did not happen. Slept well.
Slept well. Big Daddy Kane wasn't there.
No, didn't. Who?
No. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So the way the podcast works is the first question is always the same. And I'm fascinated to see what your answer is going to be for this one. I cannot even imagine. So Joseph, what was your first job?
My first job was working for American Apparel.
Why am I not surprised?
I don't know why. I wouldn't be surprised either. I don't know how many listeners have been familiar with the past of American Apparel, and specifically the founder, Doug Charney, who has a tall order of a reputation, if you will. And he immediately, after working in the store, pulled me aside to actually be one of the American Apparel models. And so at 16 years old, I was working at the American Apparel in Lincoln Center. I was going to LaGuardia High School for theater. And next thing I was doing was taking my friends over to the store because I was the red underwear on the little casing. Yep, that happened.
That you were the red underwear?
I was the red underwear, but you didn't see, it was just my bottom of my torso, the red underwears, and my thighs. But that then actually was a little bit of a foreshadow because I ended up the year after I ended up being signed by Boss Models.
So it was a bit of a foreshadow.
It was a bit of a foreshadow. I mean, I'm happy that Boss Models actually came to see me in a play and signed me versus going to American Apparel and
seeing you in the red underwear.
And seeing the underwear.
Yeah, I can understand that. Okay, so, ew.
It's just, I mean, know.
It is
not for the children.
It's not for the children. It's okay. We won't judge. Okay, so underwear model to GM at Soho Works, where you made like an incredible impact in less than a year.
Oh, thank you.
Tell me the story. How do we go from you're in the red underwear pack to now?
So I think the story starts with the cliche. So I'm in high school for theater. I think I'm a trained actor.
Of course.
I just got signed to a modeling agency.
Totally.
I'm 18 years old. I graduated. I'm moving to LA.
As one does.
As one does. So I moved to Los Angeles at 18 years old, which was pretty ambitious for me. Just, grew up with a single mom, single parents, and my mom was everything. But I also wanted and had this really, really interesting urge just to find independency and just separate myself. So with the little money I had in my pocket from student loans, thank you government.
Even though you didn't go to college.
Even though I didn't go to college. I mean, I went to what was a conservatory out there and quickly realized that I was learning and paying $30,000 a year for what was my freshman year of high school. So it just wasn't worth it, and you know how to pick those battles. And so I moved to Los Angeles, California at 18 by myself, no family, no friends, and made it work for 6 years. I started working in retail. I really have a passion for people, and that is so just saying those two words together. I have a passion for people, just like the passion for fashion that I have.
This is true. I have noticed the ensembles.
The ensembles. So I'm just coming up with everything possibly corny that I could think of. So I really just, I connect with people, and that was huge for me. Even in retail, to me, it was not about selling. It was really about connecting with, who's coming into the space, and then what do I see in you, and what are you looking for? You may be looking for a pair of jeans, but I may, catch that you're going out to a specific place, and I'll show you the right pair. And it was more about, actually establishing a clientele for me. That led me to All Saints, where I was the clientele manager Robertson Boulevard. This is Robertson Boulevard where, Paris Hilton's walking down the street going to Kitson.
Of course.
Nobody knows about this place anymore. The Boulevard? I mean, maybe if you go into the Ivy.
Right, if you're going to the Ivy, yeah.
And you go to the Ivy to be seen.
Of course.
So that All Saints was right across the street from the Ivy, and that's where my management career kind of started. From there, I came back to New York City, and I took over the All Saints flagship here in Soho. And I think for me, it was really about figuring out what was going to be the most rewarding thing from this position. When you hit a wall and you kind of just see the ladder and you're like, there's nowhere else for me to go. What's going to make me happy?
What's that next step? And I was lucky enough to be introduced to a company called WeWork. And WeWork started the evolution of what my everyday inspiration was: hospitality. So the connection from people, moving by myself, being independent, so understanding what clientele is, and then knowing that is what really connects with me. That's what moves you.
That's what moves me. And that ended up being a world-opening moment, because going into WeWork, I had never been in a space that was hospitable. A hotel, sure, but this is about being hospitality-focused. And we're here now.
Wow, so how long were you at WeWork?
So I was at WeWork for 3.5 years. I like to say that I got the best part of the company, and I was there for the tailspin as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Which location were you at?
So I started with opening their Harlem location on 126th Street. And that was for about, I want to say 7 months. And I was quickly promoted to their Penn Station location. Fun fact, I believe you met the previous head of North America that was here, Sam. He actually ran that building and opened it. I took over. And from there, I helped them open their Hudson Yards location, which was 368 9th Avenue. And that was, phased out building. So I was opening floors at a time, working with construction teams, making sure that I'm, communicating with the stakeholders of the company. And it turned out to be, a very, very, I think, educational experience.
You learned a lot.
I learned a lot.
And so what brought you to Soho Works?
So I was previously a house member. And by that, I mean, I was invited to the West Hollywood Soho House, and it was a night out, and I was in the booth taking pictures, as we did.
As one does, see?
As one does. I really, again, was venturing off of WeWork and thinking about what was my next step. And I easily could have taken a position at a company that would have, my title might as well have just been nepotism, but it would have been an easy shoe into an HR role that would have been for an entire region. And I happened to be back home in Colorado. I was born in Denver. So born in Denver, raised in New York City. And I was home with family. And I remember getting on YouTube, and there was a Visionaires piece by Nick Jones. And he was just speaking about Soho House. And he had a moment where he was speaking towards what was the inception of this company. And it was really that hospitality is what he loves, and that connection to people and having that social club where you can come in and it's a consistent experience every day. Something about that moment just kind of like a light bulb went off. And I was like, I don't think that I'm going to go into human resources. That's not the side of people that I want.
That's not the universe of people you want to be a part of.
No. And so I said, well, what's going on at Soho House? So I went, and then I see there's this works division. And I'm like, oh my God, this is from WeWork. Now they have a new vertical within their company that I can actually help make an impact and take the learnings that I had.
All the things not to do?
All the things not to do, and all the great things to do. And really figure out what are we going to do to make sure that the ethos is the same, but we're going to capitalize on this amazing, amazing product, which is now Soho Works.
Awesome. So were you employee number one?
I was not an employee number one. So we had Lauren, who she actually is the GM right now of 9000 Sunset in West Hollywood. She helped cultivate what, the bones were going to be for this here in Dumbo, along with Sam, who had came from WeWork as well. So it's just kind of funny how things work. My last day there, I think it was Christmas Eve of 2019, and his was maybe the 10th of December. So we never worked together. We knew each other. That company was very close knit, if you will. We did a lot of things in terms of global meets in London. We had different summits where the company would fly everyone out. So you knew everyone, but you didn't necessarily
know everyone, right?
Yeah. So we knew each other, and I came and I sat down for what would have been Lauren's backfill because we had to open our West Coast location, and I'm employee number 3.
Okay, so not number 1.
Not number 1.
3.
Right. I was a close second runner-up.
Yes. Okay. So, I think a lot of folks, especially right now, as we are beginning to open back up and, the masks are off, and I can see your lovely face.
And yours.
It's a different experience now to kind of come back to life and back to work. What makes Soho work so unique and different, especially at this moment?
I think what makes it so unique, especially at this moment, are the people like you, the members, the ones that are in the space and helping us make this happen. I think, one of the biggest things when you're reopening a business, any business in the middle of a pandemic, unprecedented. So kudos to everyone on this team that helped make that happen. You'll never get to the goal you want if you didn't have the buy-in of the members. If you guys did not come into this space every day and feel safe and feel that, your health was being put first, not only just for you, but for your family, who you go back home to, nobody would be in here and we wouldn't be able to be as successful as we are today.
Very cool. I like it. So now, okay, the idea of kind of working at WeWork and Soho Works, obviously lots of crazy challenges. So talk to me about, you had a challenge and you're like, okay, no way I'm getting through this.
Right.
God help me.
Yep.
And then you did.
Yeah. Wow. Which one do I pick?
You can pick a couple if you want.
I think those are the moments that everyone should look forward to, right? They always say, when you fall on your face, get back up, dust it off. And without any kind of mistakes, there's no learning, there's no growth. And I remember there was, for about, I want to say from August to November, I was running a location that was undergoing a New York City Department of Design and Construction water main change. So I am running a business, 10 floors. I have over 4,000 members and there's no water in the building.
That's a problem.
That's an issue from August all the way through November. And I got the notice, I think the water was shut off on a Sunday. I got the notice that Friday. So it was a long weekend, to say the least. And it was really, again, and this is something that I, till this day, just had a conversation this morning about. I love to lead through my team. And I really, really cannot say I can be where I am right now without the amazing people that I've had around me. And whether they were peers or whether they were my direct reports and they learned from me, without the teams that I've created, these things would have been possible. So from, figuring out a water vendor to start getting boxed water into the space, figuring out what can we actually do to make sure the building can run, how will we flush the toilets?
How do you flush the toilets?
How do you flush the toilets? So you can fill a bucket of water and flush it down after somebody's already done their business. Yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh, yeah. So, this is the time where I then also kind of, again, start stretching and start, actually flexing new muscles. And I learned what it really was to be on the real estate side of things and start digging into my lease. What does the building owe us? Things happen.
Man.
Yeah. New York City is New York City. So there has to be something in here to help us and protect us. And, we were sharing the building with a part residential, but much smaller in terms of square feet. but it was a residential, and we found out that there was actually a water tank on the roof. And I said, oh, that's fantastic. So how do we make sure that, my 9 floors get some of that water tank to help flush those toilets and such? And so I was able to kind of like start digging in with the real estate and commercial team and speaking to our general counsel and really going to bat for my business, because we closed down for what was the first time a WeWork had ever shut their doors.
Prior to COVID.
Foreshadowing. It was, and I remember it being such a big deal, and everyone was just super grateful that, I was the one taking it on, as I'm sure everyone would have been.
Not it.
Joseph, you're doing amazing, though. And, I can only say that we got through it with grace. We really did. For months, no water.
Like, oh my God.
Can you imagine if you came into Soho Works and you came in and I said, hey, the water dispenser doesn't work, shower doesn't work, toilets aren't functional, but you can still use the space. Wi-Fi's on.
I'd be like, I'm going home now.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely. I mean,
how did the members deal?
So I'll never forget that, as I'm getting the communication on a Friday, on a Saturday, I've already worked with different communication and marketing teams to send out this mass email to all of our thousands of members. And I will not forget the moment where I was at the reception desk with my team and I said, guys, the email is going out 3, 2, 1, and it landed. Within about 90 seconds, the amount of people that swarmed the desk. We're talking about, I have enterprise companies that are in there, established companies who, their VPNs are running through our space. They need to they need to be in their office, and they just received communication that we're closing down. So I'll never forget the swarm. And, I can't say that everyone will react like this, but the members that were really understanding will always have a special place in my heart, because because you're like, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, it's like, I know you're paying these dues every month, and I'm telling you, like, you can't come in, but you're saying it's out of your control, Joseph. Like, what can you actually do? They will always have a special place in my heart.
Oh my God.
Because there were some gems. And then there were some who were completely not understanding. Go pump the water yourself, Joseph.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. And then the names start being dropped. Why can't so-and-so pay for this? Wasn't there just a private jet that was bought?
Oh.
Yeah.
There's that too.
There's that too. I mean, we were very much a public company in that sense. And public, I say that with IPO aside, because that's when things went left. But we were in the news quite often. And so members were very much aware of the portfolios of our founders.
And they were like, but I ain't got no water.
Right. But you have a private jet?
Like, what?
Can you just buy another building? We were, at the time, we had the most commercial space in New York City.
And I guess you guys couldn't get another building at that point, because there's nothing you can do.
There's nothing you can do.
Wow.
There's nothing you can do. Luckily, a location had just opened 2 avenues over. And so when I closed my building, I just had to split my team and essentially just start accommodating folks. And even people who have, these large offices. There was a very highly regarded news publication in the building, and they absolutely needed to have an office. So then I have to work with another, peer of mine and see where can we fit them where they can have a stationed office, because they need to come into the building. It's D-Day for them to come in and grab all of their laptops, all their desktops, and
oh my God.
Yeah. It was intense, to say the least, but we had to answer to a lot of things that I think nobody should be kind of, put up against. And I think even speaking about that IPO, we became kind of the mouthpiece for things that we were the face and the mouthpiece for things that we couldn't necessarily speak to or defend.
Right.
Because little did everyone else know we were being also deceived.
I'm sure you have tea.
Mm-hmm. I sure do.
But
we'll leave that because I think I'm still on an NDA. Not kidding. And I'm going to get, you have a lawyer.
Yeah, sucks.
Send them my way. I think I'm still on an NDA.
Probably are.
Breaking it right now.
Oh, well. Ho hum. It's okay. So that's incredible. My God, no water for months.
No water for months. And then if I could trump that, Laura, it was reopening any space. It was a new job. I opened Soho Works in the middle of a pandemic. That to me was, I mean, not that it was something that I said, oh, we're never going to get through this. I just didn't know how to navigate this. I'm meeting my team for the first time. Here I am telling you that it's all about people connection for me. We have this fourth wall now on.
Yeah, how do you deal?
How do you deal? How am I going to set up the space so that it's health and safety, guidelines are being followed, and also we're going to run a profitable business? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Let's go for it.
It sounds to me that the challenges are where you thrive, though, and that's what gets you the high. I I was having this conversation a couple days ago with another person I was interviewing, and he's kind of in the hospitality event space, and it's like we all are kind of the same in terms of we're all crazy.
Yeah.
Because when shit's crazy is when we're like, oh, yes, I totally want this. And it's also slightly masochistic.
Oh, absolutely. There's something a little twisted in there.
Because you do sort of enjoy the suffering. It's a bit of a high. But you also, you can spot those people immediately. And that's what I think we were talking about yesterday. Like you can spot when someone has the thing that you want to be your ride or die for. And my team calls it, I'm the cult leader. And I'm like, okay, fine. But it's similar in that, you, as you said, your team got behind you and said, let's make this happen. And we ain't got no water. All right, cool. Or, hi, nice to meet you, fourth wall between us. But I'm going to open this new space in Dumbo and make it hot.
Yeah.
But also establish a culture where people want to come back.
Exactly.
And that comes from a certain kind of leadership that isn't taught. It is either you have it or you don't.
It's a tact that cannot be taught, for sure. And I think I do thrive off of those moments of complete pressure. It's just because I feel like when you're in these positions of leadership, that is what I'm here to do for not only the business, but my team, and then, the customer, the member, because I'm here to remove obstacles in my mind. Remove obstacles, the train keeps moving like a well-oiled machine. And
that's what it should be. It shouldn't be oh my gosh, I'm not sure. No, we're just I will knock down this door for you. You walk through. I can't make you walk, but I have knocked the door down. So.
Exactly. I have to say one of my superpowers, if I ever speak to them, one of them is absolutely just tenacity. If I have to break down this wall so that we can make this next step happen, we're breaking the wall down. Let's break it and build it. What do we have to do? My tenacious spirit, along with just having an entrepreneurial mindset, I think just kind of couples the authenticity, the genuine feeling when you're wanting and needing and appreciating a team for being so loyal to you. And I can have all the charisma in the world. I feel like I do, but that doesn't mean everyone's going to buy in.
Well, I wouldn't call it charisma. Like I said, I would say that folks realize who is the real deal and will be ride or die versus who is all talk. Because we've always had those people in our careers who've been like, you can tell me this stuff, but I'm not gonna go fight for you. Yeah, you won't, because you won't be there.
Right.
And then the folks who are they may talk the best, but I also know that when it's crazy, they're also gonna be in here in the trenches with me. They're not gonna be upper management looking down, being I hope you go do that. No, listen, if we gotta pump this water, I'll go pump this water.
Right. The delegators, go do that. Oh, you have a credit. Go figure that out. Yeah, no. I will never have somebody do a job I wouldn't do myself.
Same. Just same, doesn't matter. And it never changes, no matter how senior you get.
Absolutely, and it shouldn't.
It should never change. You are I always used to say back in the day, in early DF days, I am the janitor and I'm CEO.
There you go.
And
it starts at the top.
It starts at the top. And so when I ask you to do something, I'm not telling you anything I have not done already. So backwards, sideways, and all around the world. So don't come for me.
I love it. I love that. Do not. People get buried.
They get buried. That's what happens. I told you how I don't waste air on people.
Oh, I love that one. I love that one. I don't waste air. Why waste the air?
Why?
The oxygen is precious.
It's precious. Global warming, can't do that shit. So question for you now. What do you think you'd tell 18-year-old Joseph?
Oh, that's good. How old am I now? Okay, what would I tell?
16?
I'm 16. What would I tell 18-year-old Joseph? I would tell 18-year-old Joseph that, you're going to do what you want to do at the end of the day, because current Joseph will not even be able to change your mind. But trust yourself and trust your, I don't want to say trust your heart, because I don't know if it was my heart or my brain that was there, but trust that you're going to face a lot of challenges trying to achieve what you want, this independency. Know you're going to fall. Know you're going to have a lot of heartache along the way. Know you're going to learn many lessons, but remind yourself why you're doing it.
I like that, because it all comes down to trust. Because we all have that like gut feeling of like either this is going to be a shit show, or you know what, it's going to be a shit show, but it's going to be okay.
Right.
Like I'm going to be all right.
There were days when I was, living in a studio apartment with 4 other boys, a studio, and I slept on an airbed for months. And not because, I couldn't get a bed or a little cot or something. It's because we were never there. We were out in West Hollywood. We were drinking. We were never in that apartment.
You were
but
living that life.
There were days when I said, I don't know do I go back home? I don't know if I can do this. And those are the days that I needed to trust myself. So I would tell that 18-year-old Joseph, just those days, just stick it out. Pump that airbed one more time and lay down.
Just lay down.
Just lay down.
It'll be okay.
It's gonna be fine.
You'll get out. I'm gonna be all right. And so, thinking about like obviously, navigating now, reopening for real. Like all the stickers are gone. All the partitions are coming down.
Silverware is out.
Silverware. I was so shocked on Tuesday when I came in. I was like, I went to go out and make a cup of tea, and I'm like, where are the spoons?
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I pull the drawer. I'm like, there's actual silverware.
I know. I did that without asking for permission. Because honestly, I'm somebody who really, I don't like wasting paper. I could not look at that bowl of plastic forks any longer.
You're like,
it
no.
just, I was thinking about the world, the earth. I think I had just watched, what was that documentary about the sea?
Oh, I know the one you're talking about, yes.
Oh my God, I just watched it maybe about it's like a month ago now. And I'm like, I know that now we're not the ones. My straw from the Starbucks cup is not hurting the ocean. It's everybody fishing, okay? But still, to be sustainable and to also, I want to have a sustainable business that my members, I'll have businesses themselves that are sustainable, and that's probably a massive initiative. And looking at that bowl of plastic was bothering me. So I kind of circumvented some higher ups and I put the silver out. I think everybody's comfortable. Let's get these stickers off.
I welcomed it. I was like, I could actually make my tea with an actual spoon that was actual silver.
It feels good.
It did. It's also, it is funny, everyone's got their mascots, and now I know what everyone looks like, which is also crazy, because, it's weird, because we went from, this sort of faceless separation that we had, which is weird for New York, because, New York is, 1,000 stories on every street corner, to, everyone's just wearing a mask, and, and so those stories aren't told.
But they are not.
And so now we're actually at this other point now where it's oh, okay,
I think it's the stories that mess me up, because I, in those moments, want the mask again, because you'll know what I'm feeling. It's on my face.
Oh, because you have no poker face.
I don't.
Yeah, see, I have a really good.
I don't have a poker face. You'll know. Damn. If I have 2 aces, you'll know.
Oh, well, we gotta teach you the poker face, Joe.
I don't know. I like the way that I think I know how to kind of, tailor myself to different interactions. And if there's ever a moment that I'm just not okay with something, just take care of it. But I'm not going to mask what's going on, pun intended. I'm not going to mask what's going on just to make you feel better. No, this is not okay.
Oh, we are not good here.
Thank you.
So we'll be okay. And so now that we're doing all this, how do you balance all of this? What do you do for your self-care?
My self-care. So I have, what I call my non-negotiables. So I have my non-negotiables on a daily basis. I have my non-negotiables on a weekly and a monthly. And those are the things that I will always do no matter what's going on. I don't care who's calling my cell phone. I don't care what's going on. So every day I treat myself to a Frappuccino. That's a non-negotiable.
Oh,
that's
where's the Starbucks?
It's right on the corner over near Dumbo Market.
Really?
Yeah, it's right there on Main in front. I treat myself to, this is my treat for my day, every day non-negotiable. A weekly non-negotiable for me is taking one bath with a glass of wine and listening to podcasts like we're doing right now. I have a lot of favorite podcasts, and Las Culturistas is one of the ones I'm listening to right now. But I take a bath at least one day of the week, non-negotiable, glass of wine.
Red or white?
Always white. I do a Sauvignon Blanc.
As one does.
As one does. I could do the red, nicely in fall, winter. But yeah, always have a bath, just soak. Which growing up, my mom was always like, that's disgusting. I don't know why people take baths. You're just sitting in your own filth. But growing up, I was like, Mom, I need a bath. And then my monthly non-negotiables are really just having I set a goal essentially for my personal self every month. So whether it's this month, Joseph, you're gonna focus on bringing up that credit score. Not that that's an issue, just coming up with one. Or this month, I want to make sure that I am reaching out to my friends that I haven't talked to and just saying, hey, I'm thinking about you. And those things take time. They're a little lofty sometimes, I want to, look into possibly getting a car, and you take the whole month to do that. And that's not negotiable for myself. And I'm happy to say, I think every month I do accomplish whatever I set forth.
Wow, I like that. That's all grown of you. I could not do that, but
yeah.
But I do like the idea of the daily treat. I think that is so important. That that's the thing you do. You get that one thing. Now I remember where the Starbucks is. I'm like, okay, I should wander over there and
that's my daily non-negotiable. At least one frappuccino.
Just have a frappuccino.
It's a lot of sugar. It's just it's a treat.
Yeah, but you gotta live your life. We've survived through a pandemic.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that's so important for folks to remember, that it's not just that, things are going back to normal, but we lived through a traumatic grieving experience. We've all had to grieve the loss of something, whether it was someone personally or just within your own job or within your own life. And however we can take care of ourselves and, do the work for ourselves, the better off we will be as we come out of this. I was saying to someone the other day that when I first started being an entrepreneur, it was all about relentless hustle. Go, meet as many people, do the networking, make those connections.
Yes.
And now it's all about relentless rest. Because it's if I...
And you're thriving. You're glowing.
Well, because I get that rest, yeah. Thank you, darling. See how? Thank you.
Yes.
Not just thanks, always the thank you. But you have to... the rest is just so imperative. There is no way around it. And however you can find those moments for yourself to put you first, you're gonna be a better leader, you're gonna be a better friend, you're gonna be a better lover. That's that's the key right now. And so now that I know about the Starbucks.
Yes, it's a nice little walk too.
Exactly. I don't do the walk because I usually come in here and I'm on the phone all day.
Oh yeah. Listen. I run hot. If it's anything above 75 degrees in New York City, Joseph doesn't want to walk anywhere. I would be sweating. I'm like Shaquille O'Neal at the free throw line, just dribbling sweat.
We can't do nothing about you.
No.
And then the last question for you.
Yeah.
Do you have a give and or an ask of the audience?
Yes, I have. I have an ask. I think from the audience. This is Pride Month, and for all of the LGBTQIA community leaders out there and allyships, I would ask, part of I think supporting this community during this month is really trying to change the narrative day to day, and we shouldn't necessarily act as if straight and cisgender is the norm. So if I can ask the audience, the allyship specifically, if there's something you can do to support this community during Pride Month is, take that moment day to day to change the language that you use. When you're approaching a group of, friends and you just say, hey guys, let's not assume that everyone identifies that way. Just those little things. And it's a part of educating yourself. It's almost unlearning the assumptions and expectations that have just been built in us. And if I had an ask, it'd be that.
I love that one. And it's interesting because like I found like I've changed the way that I send emails. I used to do hey guys.
Yeah.
And so now I do hey everybody.
There you go.
Easy one.
Inclusive.
Easy peasy.
Is inclusive. You know, pride, PRIDE. People respecting inclusion and diversity every day.
That's all you need to do.
That's all we need to do.
Every damn day. Well, Joseph, it has been such a delight having you on the show. I knew you'd be awesome, and I was right.
Thank you so much.
We'll put your details in the show notes so folks will come and check out Soho Works. As I said, like it has become my new home, away from home as I rebuild our offices, and it has been a delight to be part of this community and seeing Joseph's smiling face in the morning. Now
It's been a delight to have you without a mask, but it's been a delight to have you, and you've been such an inspiration, Laura. So honestly, thank you. Just the little gems you drop, sometimes not for free.
It cost you a shot.
It cost me a shot. It was a good. Remember, after we kept going.
What is that shot? Like, what else did he put in there? Like, all right, it was good.
Thank you so much. This was great.
Awesome. And like I said, it is Pride Month. Support, be good allies for real, and not just be like, oh, I'm thinking about it. Like, no. Be a real good ally.
Thank you.
The little things you can do every single day matter so much to the community, and it is the only way we will get through this together. So, and that is our show.